presentation.
Good evening. This is Prem. So today's reason, the main reason for today's meeting is that we are gonna give the presentation of automatic payment program. So particularly in automatic payment program, we'll be going through each three steps. So first we'll be doing the configuration part in FBZP, and we'll be doing the payment. We'll be posting the vendor invoices, and the third step is that we'll be doing the payment automatic payment program run, that is in F110. So before all this, we are supposed before doing the configuration part, we are supposed to gather the information from our clients. For doing that, particularly, we are supposed to note down what and all the information that we require, such as company codes that whatever the client requirement is having, and also like the paying company codes, outgoing payment with cash discount program, and special GL transactions to be paid for, and also the paying company codes, like the minimum and maximum amount. This is mandatory thing that we are supposed to ask to the client. We are supposed to gather the information like what is the minimum amount for incoming payment as well as for outgoing payment. If the amount is much lesser than the minimum of incoming as well as for outgoing, then we the automatic payment program will not be, you know, we whatever the amount is there, like less than 100 rupees, it will not be taking that. So this is a mandatory thing that we are supposed to gather this information as well. So once this we take it as we note it in a page, and we make a document out of it, and post that will be, yes, in payment method, in company code, in the configuration part, in the payment method in company code, we need to gather information like PO box office or postal code of the vendor or the customer from the client itself. This information will be available with the client. That information we are supposed to gather, and also the house bank details, like the bank details of the client, like for incoming payments and outgoing payments, or how many banks that does the client have. That all that information should be gathered. So we'll be having a kickoff meeting in the initial days of a project. Post that, we'll be having multiple meets, but we should make sure that the meeting should like be like we should make sure that the meeting should not be like very frequent. So uh, yes, we should make sure that the meetings should not be very frequent. So we are supposed to make the meeting so small and very little, few meetings. In that particular meetings, particularly for APP, we are supposed to gather all this information and give a take a client meeting. And once we get the information from a client, we can assign that information in the configuration part. And once we assign that information in the configuration, we can go to FB60 for vendor postings, payments. We can give the master data information, and give the vendor invoice. We can create a vendor invoice, and once the vendor invoice is created, we can go to F110, and once we give the parameters like the date and company code, and particularly, yes, the method uh, payment method, whatever is assigned or given by the client itself, we should assign it over there, and also the date. And once we go give the vendor details, we click on status, and it will be showing like the proposal is done. Sorry, the status is completed. So you can click on proposal. Once you click on proposal, it will be asking for payment. While going into the payment, if it is an open item, then it will be showing as a red colored mark symbol. So you can go in there and you can reallocate the payment method that you want, and you can come back and do the payment, and that's how the automatic payment program will be done. Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
Okay, nice. But you didn't explain the scenarios, right? Scenarios and
Scenarios. Okay,
what are the
there are
errors
two
that not faced?
scenarios. Yes, there are particularly two scenarios. One is for when credit memo, like in case of vendor, when the goods are returned. Am I right, sir?
It's not
Yes,
about
one is
only two scenarios. Maybe you are also done some of the scenarios like withholding tax. You can also clear automatic payment program, right? So through vendor invoices, like GST payable,
okay, okay. So
and
particularly, yes.
and you didn't check the cash discounts, down payments. Okay, foreign currency invoices.
Okay, there are multiple scenarios, but I just thought that you were asking
Partial
only the
clearing
context.
also. Okay,
Okay,
that scenarios we will finish up once sessions are ended up. So we will start with some of the scenarios which are left.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, anyhow, nice presentation, but we need more clarification on that automatic payment program. So initially, you need to start up with scenarios because you need to prove yourself that you are the real-time SAP consultant.
Okay.
Okay, so you will have to attack the interviewer with real-time scenarios and real-time content, not the basic what exactly automatic payment program will do and functionality. So these are all stuff will be explained by most of the people taking from other institutions also. But the difference from our institution and other institution is just like we'll focus on more on real-time scenarios, like through automatic payment program. What are the scenarios are there? At least if you explain that in a theoretical way, that conception clarity is also most important for you, and also the interview will receive that content freely. So there may be chances of getting selection in the interview.
Okay. Thank you
Okay,
for that.
first attack the interviewer with the scenarios, real-time scenarios, and after that, so whatever the errors that you have faced, or you are feeling that some of the challenges are there, that also you can explain to the interviewer. And what about that forms? So you have designed the forms with ABAP, right? So FS you have prepared, and that
Yes,
FS.
sorry. Actually, coming to the forms. Yes, actually coming to the forms. So first we need to have a client meeting. We will be gathering the information like the format of the forms that we are supposed to send to the vendors or the customers. So once the information is available with us, we will be writing an FS, that is functional specification, to the ABAPer. That ABAPer will be giving us that particular SAP script name. That name we should assign it wherever it is required.
Okay, fine. So these are the important areas, right? So forms creation and
Yes.
initial discussion within ABAPers, and how the form has been designed by the ABAPer, and what are the inputs that have you provided. Okay.
Yes.
So these are all important. That things are shown that you are the real-time consultant. So you need to prove that you are the real-time consultant in SAP. Then you need to stress only real-time topics, not the basic stuff. Okay, if the interview will ask you about the basic stuff, that things you can also able to explain like what is automated payment program, and so what are the functionality, just like you just explain, that is not a big deal. You can also make a small conversation with the interviewer like so this is the vendor invoices we have cleared through automated payment program. So there are two types of runs are there in the F1 F110. One is payment run and proposal run. In the payment run, what happened, proposal and what happened, what are the inputs that you have given, and what is that free selection tab, and how the output will be generated, like for the check payments. Okay, so these are all stuff very important for the interview level. So real-time discussions are very important, and that real-time discussion will make you successful in the interview. Okay, fine. And who is next? I will tell you the strategies, some of the strategies and tips, tricks, how to crack any kind of SAP interview even after 10 years. So once you are habituating to attend the interviews, even after 10 years also you can crack any kind of SAP interview. Okay, so just you can make yourself comfortable with the interviews. Once you attended, you will learn more. you will grow. If you are not attending interview, that means so you don't know what you do, what you need to do in the future. And actually in the real time we have three kinds of interviews. It is completely technical. One is just initially test up your knowledge, like basic knowledge on SAP FICO, and for the screening point of view, they will discuss the important area. They will ask the only important areas. And in the second round is just like managerial interview, where the interview will try to focus more on the real-time content, whether you are a real-time person or not, and the explanation is completely real-time or just like reading the books and throwing over here. So that is also very important, right? So the interview will try to assess your genuinity, whether you are real-time consultant or you are putting some experience and showing to the interviewer. So these factors make sense. These factors make difference. Okay. So initial stages, definitely people will struggle to learning SAP FICO. But once you get the grip on the SAP FICO and just understand the linkages, so what is the linkage between the GL account assignments, account determinations, and automatic posting GL? So linkage, you should understand the linkages. Then it would be easier for you to crack any kind of interview in the real time. So this is one factor that you have to prove yourself you are a real-time consultant. Okay, so they will assess and they will test out your knowledge based on your answers. So whatever the answers you are providing to the interviewer, that should be make sense and that should be realistic, and that is real conversation that you already worked in SAP FICO and you are just explaining your previous experiences to the interviewers. That way you need to convince the interviewer and you will get the result. You just explain in the basic stuff what is meant by automatic payment program and how it works, what is the functionality. Okay, that things everybody will explain. But as a Prem Kumar now is moving to any job. So if you explain that content will not be make fit any kind of job in real time. So if you explain the real time content in a different way and you shown yourself as in different mode, definitely there may be chances of successful in the kind of interview as well as in the real time work. Right? So your first focus should be you need to prove yourself as a real time consultant. And second focus should be you need to gather the realistic information that you already learnt during the training stage, and whatever the topics that you acquired from the friends and Google and YouTube, those topics also added advantage, and you need to gather that topics, and so you make yourself as a strong in front of the interview. You just show yourself, you just put up yourself. You are the real-time consultant. You know you need more, not less. You need to prove yourself. You need more. You learn more. Okay. Next. Next. Who is next? Anyone? So ఎవరికి ఓన్లీ ప్రేమేనా? Who is next? See, ప్రిపేర్ అయింది. ఈరోజు మీకు ఇంటర్వ్యూ స్ట్రాటజీ చెప్తాను, ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలన్నది. సో ఈ ప్రిపరేషన్లోనే మీకు సగం క్లారిటీ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, 30 minutes ఇంటర్వ్యూ ప్రిపరేషన్ చెప్తాను, ఎలా చెప్పాలి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో. ప్రిపరేషన్ కాదు, ఇంటర్వ్యూ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ డెలివరీ. సో మీకు తెలిసిన దాన్ని